can I help you this afternoon? Ah, that's a lovely topic that you would like to research. I do actually have quite a few books on that topic, so maybe I can find them for you and we can go through some of the items that I have. So welcome to the library. Was it easy to find? Good. Well, you've been before. Yeah, well, it's good to see you back. It's nice to have you. So, give me just a few minutes to go and find some of these books for you, and then I will bring them back and perhaps we can go through to see if they're okay for your project. So, these are a selection of some of the books we have in the library currently that you can borrow, and they are all stories about animals. The first one that I would like to go through is a really sweet, very moving, and very, anything like me, you will probably cry at some of the stories here. This book is called Dogs in Heaven and Other Animals. It's a book by Jackie Newcomb, and it is titled as Extraordinary Stories of Animals Reaching Out from the Other Side. So it's all about the spirituality of animals and true stories of people who have had these really beautiful experiences. Okay. I won't read all of it, obviously, because you'll take it home and read it. But this is, there are many true stories. The ones that I particularly like in here, some of these really gave me goosebumps when I read it, actually. There was a couple who had called a vet out to their horse. They had originally 2 horses. Having been a horse owner myself, I found that all animals are absolutely precious, without a doubt. But horses do have an exceptional gentleness to them and a sensitivity that's quite special. And in this story, the horse, one of the horses had passed away 6 months before. So they had called out a vet to see to the other horse. And when the vet came out, he responded to the sick horse and then said to the couple, "What about your other horse over there?" And the couple were very confused. "No other horse, is just this one." And he said, "Well, I can see a white horse," we sometimes call them grey, but with certain markings that were really specific. And the couple began to just break down and cry, because this was the exact identity of their horse they'd lost 6 months previous, that had obviously made some kind of spiritual visit, maybe to check on the other horse. And it was really, I think it was a very goosebump moment that the vet had seen it, not the couple, but the vet. I think it gave them a lot of comfort. And There's some beautiful stories here. One lady who had taken her dog to rest, taken it to the vets, and was really confused when she saw the dog run out from the back of the vets and jump over the wall and disappear, because she was put to sleep. And she saw this as a sign that the dog was full of energy, pain-free, and had gone to wherever it was supposed to go. So it's all about dogs and cats and horses who have shown up from the other side. I think if you really love animals and you've had a very special bond with an animal or a pet, then you really want the certainty that they are, or at least not the certainty, but the comforting thought that they're in a bit of pain, that they are pain-free. And I think this is a really sweet, comforting book to read from some truth. Book that I wanted to share with you is the story of a Second World War dog who was a pointer. I actually had a pointer myself. It was super crazy, but gorgeous, very scatty. And this is the story. I should just read the excerpt, the leaf note here. It's a flight technician called Frank Williams and his dog Judy, who was a pointer, and they met in a World War II internment camp. Judy was very loyal, and when the prisoners were suffering various issues, she had become the beacon of hope for many of the men. So she stayed with them in this POW camp. Lots of the men felt that she stopped them from losing their lives and becoming so sick and so despairing. She kept them going. This is a really very long book. It's quite a big book. It's a really interesting read if you wanted something just that bit more in depth. There are some beautiful pictures of her, and she's part of the crew here on a ship. Yeah, so this may be a really heartwarming book to read. So it is a true story, a true account. And the book is called No Better Friend by Robert Weintraub. Yeah. The other book I wanted to show you is actually it's a children's book, but I think that it's a lovely book actually. I think adults and children alike can read this and enjoy it. I learned quite a lot actually from this. So it starts, the first story it starts with is Alexander the Great's horse, who was called, I think this is pronounced Bucephalus. Very handsome, fine horse. Took him into battle. It moves on to talk about Hannibal and the elephants. talks about Genghis Khan and his horses in ancient Mongolia that were super tough horses. The one that I particularly enjoyed reading about was a stretcher bearer donkey called Murphy. So I won't read the whole thing, but just to tell you the story of Murphy. Murphy was a First World War stretcher bearer. So he helped to bring wounded soldiers back. Sometimes it took days to get the soldiers back to the field hospital. He was working alongside a lot of the Anzacs, so Australia and New Zealand soldiers in Gallipoli in the First World War. And it was very exhausting work. He worked with another soldier, and the pair of them together were a team. And the sight of Murphy was really comforting to a lot of the soldiers. He would wear a special white headband with a little red cross in the middle, so that people would know he was not to be shot at or interfered with in any way. He was to do his job, which was to carry wounded soldiers back from the beaches to the hospital. The man was called Simpson, who was the soldier who worked with the donkey Murphy, sadly was killed. So Murphy had to carry the man he'd worked with back to the hospital. This bit really made me almost cry. So he carried on working, and in 1997 he was posthumously awarded the Purple Cross for outstanding animal bravery. So these are all stories of animals in conflict, in war, for basic bravery. There's really every kind of animal in this story, from a pigeon to horse, an elephant, dogs, cats, and a head-butting goat called Sergeant Bill. Became a mascot for Canadian soldiers, and he was quite naughty, so he would nibble everything and he would drink beer in the canteen. So he was more of a morale boosting mascot for the soldiers. Yeah. So there's quite a few books in here. Parachuting dogs, swimming pigs, moves up to slightly more recent times, but there is a story here of a Tacoma, a bottlenose dolphin who was used in the Gulf War in 2003 for finding things, basically. So he could find mines in the water, recover objects, and could swim a lot deeper than any human diver, obviously. Very intelligent. So there are some beautiful stories in here. I think the most inspiring thing about all of these stories and these books is that if you are an animal lover and you have enjoyed really special friendships with animals, then these stories are really heartwarming. They show us the courage of animals and the unique relationship that humans can have with animals, especially in really difficult times. My recommendation is that you borrow these. I thank you for visiting today, and I look forward to seeing you again. I'm always here to help you with any of your research projects. So until next time.